Hi, and welcome to Sixcess Stories. We are your hosts, Christina Gent.
And Eric Ozorowski.
And this is where we share real conversations with the members of the 6 Degrees community, all about life, leadership, and the power of meaningful connections. On today's episode, we have Dave Morgan, who is a partner at Coastal Tax Advisors.
So Dave is really passionate about jiu-jitsu and fishing. And in this episode, we talk about, in depth, we talk about how those two things are metaphors for business, family, life, and so many parts of our day-to-day.
Yeah, honestly, this episode could be sponsored by jiu-jitsu. In such a great way. I think it was really cool to just take something that's such a huge passion for Dave and how it relates to us as people in general and, of course, business and everything else. So it was a really, really fun conversation and great to get to know him on a deeper level. I do want to note that we also had some visitors from the Blue Angels. They were very active that day in the sky. So you will be able to hear them at some point in this episode. So please enjoy this episode of Sixcess Stories.
The way we like to start is kind of the same way we start the groups with a check-in, just to kind of get grounded, be here. I guess for me, I would be curious, what is stress level for each of us on a scale of 1 to 10 coming into this environment?
I'm pretty stressed right now.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, in general, I'm probably at a 9+ right now.
Okay.
Yeah, probably around there. But it's because I've got so many things that I have to do and all the things that I want to do that I'm trying to fit into all of that.
Okay.
And one of the have-to-dos is moving the office and all the coordination
That's
with that.
right.
The things, I haven't had to move an office in so long that I forgot, like, oh yeah, yesterday I had to approve millwork design. I didn't even think about that.
Sure.
Like, just build the cabinets. You know, what are you talking about? Picking colors, that is the worst thing that I could ever be asked to do. So I brought in other people for that. We have one person who loves doing interior design, so I took her over there and said, okay, here's all the stuff.
Yeah.
They hand me a ring of laminates for possible cabinet colors, and I go catatonic. I'm like, I can't deal with this.
No, it's like wedding planning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's too many.
Yeah.
So many details.
Too many things.
Yeah.
Narrow it down to like 4, and I'll tell you which of those 4 I like. But I don't want to look through that. I know I don't want the orange one. Those things
Don't
I can
need
tell
orange.
you for sure. Yeah.
But a solid 9+, with just with that mixed into the normal course of business and life.
We're going out of town tomorrow. I got the moving stuff. I got a deadline coming up.
Yeah.
And the candidate that we interviewed yesterday that I have to get an offer letter out to.
Never ends.
Oh, yeah.
It's part of.
Well, thanks
owning
for
a
making
business.
time and being here with us for.
It was on my calendar. I had to be here.
I
so.
appreciate
how that
that.
works.
Christina, where are you at?
Stress-wise, I'm really low. I think today I was like, I don't want to necessarily just all of a sudden jump into thinking about the holiday party. We had a great event yesterday, so I'm just going to let that be, and then I can worry about that maybe tomorrow. So I'm probably like a 3.
I'd say revel in that event for a little bit.
Yeah, just like sit in it for a minute.
That was so awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
It was just, that was unreal.
Yeah.
The baseball cards was it was already great. Oh, it was fantastic. And then the baseball trading cards came out, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is what put it over the top. Yeah.
Yes.
And then at the same time, I'm like, yep, that's these guys.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So.
Yeah, thank you.
We love the details.
Yeah.
And it was funny too, because I mean, even just leading up to it, we were like, man, are we spending too much time on these damn cards? And because it takes a lot of time to just think about like the scouting reports and all that, but it just seeing everything unfold and seeing everyone's excitement around it, I was like, oh, that was so worth it.
It was
so
worth it.
I was like, I'll do that every day. I don't even care.
Yeah, yesterday was fun. I was probably similar. I'm probably at like a 3, just from stress-wise, just trying to. So hopefully we can
What's
give
that
you.
like?
Hopefully it's not normal. I think we've learned to just even the events is like the day before, day after. Try to have it be a little bit less around that, so we can to your point, revel and kind of enjoy, and instead of just going, all right, on to the next thing. And part of me, like, there is a little pull to start thinking about the next thing, but
I mean, I'm generally always at about a 5 anyway.
yeah, just that's baseline.
Yeah, and if I fall below that, I get a migraine. So,
Even when you're out like fishing and stuff, or is that?
So yeah, funny thing about that is, so I wear my Whoop.
Yeah.
And at the end of each day, it sends me a text saying you were in a high stress level or a high stress zone for an hour and 38 minutes today, or 2 hours and 10 minutes, or whatever. One day when I was up at the lake, I was on my boat for 10 hours. And when I got my alert thing that evening, it said, you were in a high stress zone for 9 hours and 48 minutes today.
Oh my God.
I just take my fishing really seriously.
Just so intense.
I think it's reading the biometrics differently than what it maybe should.
Sure. Or you're just super into the like.
I'm very into the fishing, but it is very relaxing for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just wired backwards. I don't know.
That's actually amazing.
I get every time I go fishing, I pay attention to that, and it's all of a sudden 8 hours in a high stress zone. When I was on my 7-day trip, I left it on one day in particular, our best fishing day. And yeah, it came back that the whole time that I had it on that we were fishing, it was a high stress zone. I'm kind of curious about it. And one of my jiu-jitsu partners knows the COO of the company.
Okay.
And I keep meaning to have him, hey, figure this out.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
What's this number?
This seems odd.
Yeah.
Well, do you wear it when you're with jiu-jitsu as well? Is that...
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bicep band.
Okay.
That you take this part of it off, so
Yeah.
you detach the strap from it, slip it into a little pouch there. That's the only reason I got it.
Okay.
Was because my sensei was like, my one training partner Martin had it, and then my sensei got one, and then he's like, you got to get one because we got to have a group, and that way I can check in and see where your heart rate levels are, blah blah blah. And so I'm like, all right, fine. I got pressured into doing this, and I got it, and I'm very consistent with it. But it was very useful because he'd go, okay, so I noticed while you're in your rolls now, you're not entering beyond zone 3. And if you are, you're in zone 4 for just a little bit, and that's perfect. That's where you want to be at black belt level. You want to be very low effort, be super efficient with everything you're doing. You shouldn't be spazzing out, making really dynamic moves. Just be mellow and deal with what's coming at you. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I can be lazy? Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Well,
so what you're saying is I'm going to be a fat black belt because I'm not going to be burning as many calories. Okay. Thanks.
Well, the black belt's new, and I know we've talked.
The black belt is new.
We talked about it yesterday.
September 6th.
September 6th. And how did this? I remember last time we spoke about it. You were getting excited. It was your sensei asked you, where do you want to do it? Did it end up being in the garage?
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Becoming a black belt. How long have you been practicing?
11 years, 7 months.
That's
1,415 classes and open mats, and 7 tournaments.
I'd love
I'm not a big tournament guy.
Okay.
But I'm a accounting nerd, so I have a spreadsheet that I track all of it. I've got written down what I trained at each class, and if I needed to make notes about the technique, that's in my spreadsheet. And it's like...
That's amazing to be able to look back at the progress, and I love just how quickly you have the numbers. Right, we were talking today. Dave, we were talking in one of the groups today, and Dave literally spit out like 3 dates of this person. It was like 10 years ago, but it was January 23rd. This date was the first day. I'm like, you have such an accountant brain.
Yeah. I think you were talking about my first day in public accounting, which was January 2nd, 1996.
Yeah.
That's wild. I can't even remember a lot of people's birthdays.
I actually got in trouble with a little bit of trouble with my friend, my best friend. Basically, we've known each other since we were 4, so we've known each other 50 years. He just moved back out here from Philly, and while he was away in Philly, I mean, calendars are to remember stuff. Mm-hmm. So I got the notification that your anniversary, it's JJ's anniversary. Okay, cool. Which happened to actually be last week. It was last Wednesday. So I sent a text message, and it's 3 hours time difference.
Yeah.
And so at this point, it's like it's 10 or 11 a.m. out there. Certainly, they've been up, interacted. I'm safe. I send a text message wishing her a happy anniversary. John didn't remember that. And I'm like, oh man, I just threw my
Oh,
buddy
no.
under the bus.
Just ripped a grenade off and threw it to
Yeah,
him.
so now I no longer send her birthday messages or anniversary messages, and I remind him on both of those dates that is happening, so that
Hey,
he's
tell your wife happy birthday for me.
like, well,
That's smart.
last week or week before, I was like, your anniversary's next Wednesday, right? And he's like, yep, got it on the calendar. I already got some plans. I'm like, good job.
Bravo.
So.
That's really funny.
See, or my hack was for us to get married on Eric's birthday. So that one's pretty hard to forget.
I don't call that a hack. I call that kind of, I'm not going to say the word that I would normally use, but yeah, that was wussing out. Because now you took the day away from him. That was his day. And now it's become your day, because let's face it, the weddings are always about the wife.
It was very selfish, looking back on it.
Now,
Hey,
great.
you-
Wait a
you
minute.
liked- you liked
now
the
I'm
idea.
stirring up things and starting riffs here.
Yeah,
I'm just going to stop talking.
you and your number memories.
That's hilarious.
No, so
Yeah, back to jujitsu.
But my birthday's New Year's Eve, so it's kind of already a shared day. And so if I ever miss that day, there's something seriously wrong. It's New Year's Eve. It's my birthday. It's our wedding anniversary. It's the day we took over 6 Degrees. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of
So it's
things
New
to
Year's
celebrate.
Eve,
New Year's
the
Eve.
31st.
Yeah, you've been celebrating your whole life.
No. Actually, the guy who cuts my hair, which is where I was before the stretch this morning, if I remember right, theirs on New Year's Eve. It may be New Year's Day. Now I'm all of a sudden questioning myself, but yeah,
Okay.
it's right around there too. So.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it
I have
was
no idea why they chose that day, but
Yeah. For us, it was Christina had a whole thing.
Back
But-
to jujitsu.
Yeah, so 11 years ago, you got into jiu-jitsu. What made you get into it? Tell us a little bit about the journey of the last 11 years.
Yeah, my personal trainer at the time, he sent out an email to everybody that had trained with him and said, hey, I'm going to do a 2-week, no-cost introduction to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I got home that night and I read that email, and Natalie, my wife, said, did you see that email today? And I said, well, yeah, I did. And she goes, well, what do you think? You want to go try it? And I won't use the exact words that I said, but basically, I don't know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is. There may have been an expletive in there. Try to keep it clean for the...
Don't worry about that.
You don't have to.
Alice.
You don't have to.
And she goes, well, go to it and check it out and find out. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? Because I kind of am that way. It's like, all right, I'll go try something new. Well, what the heck? I'm kind of game for a lot of different things, unless it involves jumping out of airplanes or off of high perches with a bungee cord attached to you.
Hard no.
Hard
no
Yeah,
on those two.
zip lines are a hard no.
Okay.
Adrenaline needs are not part of my makeup. I don't have that need.
Well,
so.
just based on your whoop and fishing, it sounds like you don't need it at all.
Right. Exactly.
Fishing is doing plenty of that.
Exactly. So I go to the very first class, and the warm-up was incredible. I had never sweat that much in my life while actually kind of having a good time, because all the movements are constantly changing during the warm-up.
Yeah.
And then we started to learn the technique, and I left there and I was like, man, I'm just going to come for the warm-up. I don't care if I learn any of this other stuff. This warm-up is awesome.
Okay.
And boom, fast forward 11 years, and I'm at the level that I'm at. I just had to stick with it. There's a saying in the community that a black belt is a white belt who never quit. And it's so true, because it's just, I've been contemplating getting a tattoo to kind of commemorate the event. I have no tattoos, so who knows if it'll ever actually happen, but trying to figure out something that I want on my body permanently. That whole thing that always resonates is just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what, I just, no matter what was happening, I just kept going to class. And I just made time. Yep, I'm going to go. I'm going to do this. And I just stuck to it. And then I think back to other things in my life and my career, and it was the same thing. The things that I'm happiest with and proudest of, it's just because I didn't quit.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep going.
Yeah. I know we've talked about just how much jiu-jitsu, just both for business and life, how many parallels to that there is. From a curiosity standpoint, so white belts first, how many other belts are there between white and black?
Most schools have white, blue, purple, brown, and then black.
Okay.
The family, I call it, that I train under, Six Blades Ribeiro, or if you're Brazilian, Ribeiro. They don't pronounce their R's in certain cases. Sometimes they do.
The English language is full of
yes,
traps.
Yes.
So
yeah, same deal there. But we add a green belt in between the white and the blue.
Okay.
So white, green, blue, purple, brown, black. Then beyond black, after you get to a certain level of black belt, there's a coral belt, which is a black and red striped belt.
Okay.
And then there's a black and white that works in, or I'm sorry, a red and white that works in there. And then there's a full red belt. The red belt allegedly is reserved for the original 5 Gracie family members. So theoretically, no one else can have a red belt. But I think you got to be a black belt for 31 years before you can get a red belt or something. So
Wow.
I'll be dead by then. I don't need to worry about that. I don't spend much brain time on that.
I don't know. With all AI technology and everything else, they might just keep our brains on in some capacity. So you never know.
You never know. You never know.
So really, literally just an email from your trainer. And how long were you working with your trainer before?
Probably a year and a half or so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that long. I'm not certain.
Yeah.
So, but it was just and really, I mean, I credit my wife for it.
Was she interested in it at all?
No. She wants nothing that people are going to sweat and drip sweat on your face. And the worst for me, I had it dripped in my eyes, and it's a big deal. You just close your eyes real tight, and it's no big deal. The worst is in your ear. It's
sweat dripping in my ear.
Yeah, there's one guy that I train with regularly, and he's a fountain when he sweats.
Sure.
And so there was one time it was below him, and he dripped sweat into one ear, and I maneuvered myself so that I was facing the other way, hoping that the sweat would drip out, and he started dripping into that ear. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear out of both of my ears because I had so much sweat in my ear.
That's gross.
That's really gross.
Yeah. You can cut that part out. And for me, it's just sweat, whatever. But my wife is just, no, there's no way I'm getting that close to a sweaty person. Like, it's not happening.
I would not want to do that either.
She trained Krav Maga for a little bit right when the pandemic started, and the gym that she was at closed down during the pandemic, which is unfortunate, and she's just never gone back to it. But that way with Krav Maga, the idea is to get yourself free and get the hell away.
Sure.
And with jiu-jitsu, yes, there's the self-defense element of it, but in our training, you don't want to be away from the person because then you're in a danger zone. So you want to stay close to them most of the time.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Do you have any interest in learning anything else at this point from
Nothing that's really like driving me to want to do something else. I plan to expand some of my judo knowledge. I've done a little bit of judo just real casually, nothing real formal.
Yeah.
It's a good part of jiu-jitsu to have, and there's a lot of similarities to it, but there's some elements of judo that when I've had people help me with some things and show me some things, my older body parts don't adhere as well to.
Sure.
So like, oh yeah, my elbow doesn't bend to the side like that. When I was 22, it probably did.
Might have, yeah.
But not now, no. So
smallest little movements and my body freaks out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
We're already there.
Yeah. I don't really have much interest in any of the other striking stuff. I've done a little bit of kickboxing training. It doesn't excite me. Yeah, it's a great workout. If I had a trainer that suddenly said, hey, we're going to go do a little bit of kickboxing stuff, I go, okay, cool. I could do that once a month, but it's nothing I'm going to get way into at all. So
yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And then, so just from a mastery standpoint, I mean, how many more sessions do you think you have in you? It's probably something you're never going to stop, but you said 1,000. What was the number?
1,415 when I got my black belt.
Yeah.
And I've done another dozen or so more since then. So I started a separate page in my Excel file for my black belt.
New chapter?
So, yeah, exactly.
New chapter
That's
in the
kind
book?
of exactly how I looked at it. Was this is a new chapter? I need to track it separately now. In a certain degree, I feel like a freaking white belt again.
Yeah.
I learned that the black belts were going easy on me before. They aren't doing that anymore. And now everybody else also wants to kill me. So it's there's different challenges coming up. You never stop learning for sure. My sensei is a 4th degree black belt, so he's, what's that, 3, 6, 9, 14 years as a black belt. And so to answer your question, that's kind of where that might be about the highest level I'm likely to achieve, but a lot of it just depends on how much my body will hold up.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's 5 years from the 4th degree to the 5th degree, and at that point I'm getting to be 70, 74 years old. I mean, it's not impossible. There's people now that are still practicing that are of that age. There's a person at Studio 540. I think he's 83 or something.
Wow.
I've actually rolled with him once, and it's no joke. It's like old man strength combined with all of those years of jiu-jitsu knowledge. Yeah, that's
pretty
that's a frightening individual.
pretty potent.
Yeah,
pretty
but he honestly, I'll say, presents himself. He doesn't look like an 80-something-year-old guy.
Sure.
If you saw him across the room, you guys would probably go, "Oh yeah, that guy's probably maybe mid-60s."
Yeah.
You know, but he's 80-something years old, and so I kind of, a lot of people ask me, because I train 5 to 6 days a week generally.
Right. Yeah.
Although I'm missing out today, I'm a little sore from yesterday's class. They're like, "Oh wow, you're 54 years old and you're training that often. How do you do that?" So my fishing and boating background, the worst thing you can do with a boat is leave it on the trailer or in the slip.
Yeah.
If it's not being used, things seize up and they break.
Right.
So I'm like, "Oh, I got this. For jiu-jitsu, I'm going to use the boat method. As long as I don't stop training, things won't hurt." And sure enough, when I take 2 or 3 days off, that's when things start to hurt. As long as I keep going every day, everything works fine. It's all lubed up and warmed up and ready to go. And
You just keep on going.
I just keep going. There it is again. See,
Yeah.
just keep going.
Just keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, so as long as I can maintain that, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
What's the worst injury that you've experienced, if any, from jiu-jitsu?
From jiu-jitsu, the worst from what people normally would consider the worst would be when I broke 3 bones in my foot.
Ooh.
See, that's exactly the reaction that people give.
Yeah.
The worst that it was for me was the unexplained injury when one of the bursa sacs in my knee ballooned up like water on the knee, and I couldn't train for like 6 weeks.
Oh.
It didn't hurt, but it wasn't safe for me to go and train, because if that burst, we didn't know what could possibly happen, and we didn't know why it happened. Just all of a sudden I woke up one morning and my knee was ballooned up. Nothing unusual happened the night before in training. It just was like that. And so it was the worst for me because it kept me off the mat. The broken foot, I was supposed to be off the mat for 6 weeks, and I didn't. Yeah, because that's how I am. When the injury occurred, it was literally the last rep of the training, and then we were going to sparring, and the guy fell on my foot. My foot was sideways on the mat, and when he fell, his hip bones hit right on the side of my foot, and you kind of heard a little crunch. And my pinky toe got dislocated. It was sticking out 90 degrees from where it should be.
Oh.
Didn't hurt at all. And one guy that was there, he was a brown belt at the time. He's now a 2nd degree black belt. Owns a school up in San Pedro. Super amazing, nice guy. He came over, and the instructor, it's weird how the world works. The instructor of that class is my sensei.
What?
Yeah, it was when I was a white belt that this happened, and he was teaching the classes down at the University of Jiu-Jitsu at the time. And so now it's like, you say weird.
Yeah.
The way the world works is so bizarre.
Yeah.
So he was freaked out. He didn't know what to do. And this other guy, Brian, comes over and he goes, "Oh, I think that toe's just dislocated." And he goes, "Oh, are you a nurse or doctor or something?" He goes, No, I'm a physical therapist, but I can take care of it." Well, the only thing I knew about dislocated anything was Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon, when his shoulder's dislocated and he screams when he pops it back in. So I'm bracing myself. I'm like, "Oh, this is going to really suck." And in the meantime, an Australian black belt who was visiting there came over and he shoved me down, held my shoulders to the mat. He goes, "You're going to be okay, mate. You're going to be okay." I'm like, "Dude, I feel fine." He's like, "No, you're going to be okay." I'm like, "I know, whatever." And
Just do it.
yeah. Well, and I felt some hand on my foot, and next thing you know, he goes, "Okay, there it goes. It's in." And I'm like, "What?" I didn't feel anything. He just literally just massaged it and moved it right back into place.
Oh,
I
wow.
did not
Oh, it
feel
wasn't.
a
It wasn't
thing.
like a sudden
Yeah.
snap.
It was,
pop
yeah,
kind of
which is
thing.
what I was expecting from
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon. So
That's what I would have expected.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, my foot's a little swollen, so I'm just going to go get some ice on it and also sit out the first couple of sparring rounds and make sure my foot's going to be okay. And it kept expanding and not going down. And I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't spar. 2 days after that, I went to Las Vegas on a business trip, and it happened to coincide with the Master Worlds tournament that was going on out there. So I walked around Vegas. This was the days of the Fitbit. I walked around Vegas for 3 days. I put 27 miles on in walking, including standing at the tournament for 3 days for 4 to 6 or 7 hours each day. And when I got back from the Vegas trip, I'm looking at my foot and I'm going, this thing isn't getting any better. I should probably go to a doctor.
You walked 27 miles in 3 days on a broken foot?
Yeah. So I went to a doctor and they x-rayed my foot and they go, yeah, you got 3 bones broken here. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. They sent me to a specialist and she looked at it. The specialist ended up becoming a client of my partner's. Small world. Very strange. And she goes, there's really nothing I can do about it. We could do surgery to try and fix this, but it's not worth the risk. So just wear a boot and be careful.
Did it hurt? It was swollen, but it didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt at all.
Okay.
There's nothing about it that hurt.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I had the same thing happen when I broke my arms mountain biking. I broke both my arms in one accident, and I didn't go to the doctor for 3 days after that. My wrist was swollen, and
why don't you feel pain?
I attribute that to my older brother,
okay,
whose favorite pastime when he was in junior high and high school was bringing his friends over to beat the crap out of me and my friends. So
Thank you, older
we
brother.
just got used to it.
Yeah,
got used to the pain.
Yeah,
that's what older brothers are for.
Yeah, exactly. So,
is he your only sibling?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so the 2 of you.
Just the 2 of us. Yeah.
How much older is he?
He's 3.5 years.
Okay. So would have been in high school together.
No, he left the year that I came in because high school was 3 years where we were.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Junior high was 7th, 8th, 9th, and then high school was 10th, 11th, 12th. So
that's interesting.
That's how old I am. I think they've changed that all now. But I lived in his shadow.
Yeah, I was going to how is it growing up with an older brother who's 3 years older than you and just beating you up on it?
Well, in elementary school, it was fantastic because anybody who ever picked on me had to answer to my brother and his friends.
Sure.
So that didn't last long. And then when my brother was out of elementary school, I made friends with the tallest person I could find. Another funny small world side story, that particular individual is my partner's neighbor.
It's a very small world.
Out of nowhere.
Your world is tiny.
They were talking one day over some beers, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to, something about my partner, Dave Morgan. And he goes, wait, Dave Morgan, I went to school with, do you have a picture? And he showed him a picture. He goes, that's the guy I went to elementary school. We went 4th grade through high school. So
wow,
absolutely crazy. So yeah, so I made friends with him so that I had a tall person that was around me. So people tended to leave me alone. I was very small when I was in elementary school and junior high. And yeah, then junior high when my brother was out of junior high when I started there. And the worst thing was my brother was much more athletic than I am at that time. Like I was not going to run. Sweating was not a thing that I did.
Eric's a runner, but I certainly am not.
It's very freeing for me. It's probably similar for you with fishing or jiu-jitsu. It's like I kind of just place for me to process things and thoughts, and if I'm away from it for too long, things build up.
Yeah, that's the way with me when I'm not on the water. It's all of a sudden it's like I have to get on the water. And well, so now I have the outlet. I get to go choke people. So that helps.
Both. Tell us a little bit more about fishing. So have you been fishing your whole life, or was that something that you and your brother did? Was it something that you and your family did?
So as I said, I was born in Colorado, and I would go back to visit my dad every other summer, every summer, every other Christmas, I think is how the divorce decree worked out.
Yeah.
And I loved to go fishing back there. Looking back on it, it wasn't so much that I loved catching the fish. When I convinced my dad to take me fishing, there was a whole set of things we would have. There was always a lunch, and my dad made his own root beer, and I loved his root beer, and so he would bring his root beer. That was one of the few times I got the root beer, Yeah. And so it was more about that than actually catching the fish. Sure. Because a lot of times we didn't catch fish. But there was something about it that kind of got into, I liked being on the water's edge and all. And then as I started to get a little older, both of my grandparents, my mom's dad and my dad's dad, somehow they started talking about fishing stuff. And yeah, I'm going to take you someday. I'm going to take you someday. And it wasn't happening. And then one of my friends, we were 10 or 11 years old, one of my friends said, hey, we should go on a half-day fishing boat. I'm like, oh yeah, my brother did one of those. He got seasick. It was horrible. But I don't think I get seasick. So yeah, let's do it. So we booked 2 11-year-old kids, convinced one of our parents to drive us down, drop us off. We went and got on a boat, and we didn't catch anything.
Of course not.
But we had so much fun. And we left there going, okay, I think I know what I was doing wrong. So next time we need to think about this and do this and do that. And so we were scheming, like, how can we get better at this? And so we decided that the next night we went on a twilight boat.
Yeah. And
we caught mackerel after mackerel, and it was just insanely fun. And at that point, the rest of it's kind of a blur, because that's all I wanted to do was fish. And I would get home from school. I lived up above the stadium, basically up on top of Texas Street Hill.
Yeah.
And there was a shortcut down the overpass. We'd trudge down the dirt grade of the overpass support, get on our skateboards, ride down Texas Street Hill, go to the San Diego River and catch crawdads, and then cut the crawdads into pieces and fish for bass and bluegill, and just all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it just turned into this crazed thing after that. At 14, I started working on a half-day boat. It was mostly just trade work for fishing, which is totally fine when you're 14 years old.
Yeah.
But God love my mom for not ever bitching a peep about getting up at 5 a.m. to drive us down to drop us off at the boat.
Wow.
She always was, okay, no problem. She wasn't happy about it, but she never complained about doing it. And when I talked to her years later, she's like, well, yeah, it was basically like a bunch of built-in babysitters. I knew where you were.
Yeah.
I knew if you were acting like a fool, some adult around there was going to smack you back and keep you in line. That's actually true. I wasn't getting into trouble.
Yeah.
I wasn't around a bunch of druggies.
So many worse things you could be doing than going fishing at 5 a.m. Like, I would, as a parent, 100%. Be like, this sucks, but okay.
And both her and my friend JJ's mom, JJ and I learned to fish together. Neither one of them would complain the slightest at having to take us fishing someplace or drop us off at a boat or whatever. It was fantastic. That was such a good, fortunate thing,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like you had some success early with it, right? Like the night or a couple days after you went out. Like you had I always think of golf where, like, if you have the one good shot, and it's kind of like a
yes.
Oh, okay, there's something here, right? I haven't thought about fishing that way, but that makes sense.
Yeah, the same kind of thing can happen golf-wise. I used to play when my office company I was working for was in Carmel Valley, and there was a group of us that played golf pretty regularly. You could play the back nine of the North Course.
At Torrey?
Yeah, at Torrey.
Yeah.
With the residence card, it was like $6.
Yeah.
But you had to line up before sunrise.
Right.
So you had to be in line by 5 a.m. because they only had a limited number of people they'd let out for that.
Yeah.
And so I would do it. I could go play 9 holes of golf and beat everybody into the office. Yeah. It was fantastic. And there was one round in particular that, oh my God, it would have been an impressive scorecard if I had played a full 18.
Yeah.
But on the very last hole, and I literally by 2 holes before the end, I'm like, I think this is it. I'm done. I am never picking up these clubs again. I'm going to finish off this round, and that's it. Forget it. This is not my thing. And we get to the 18th hole, it's the 18th, but our 9th.
Yeah.
And I just laced a 5-wood, knocked it right up close to the pin, and I go, all right, I'll see you guys next week. Just that one shot just changed the whole attitude.
It's all it takes.
Yep.
Recently, I shared with Christina, I went on a trip where we played 4 rounds in 3 days, 4 different courses.
Right.
And anytime I've done a trip like that, it's been more of like, we're going to play the same course, and I kind of can see some improvement and stuff. Mm-hmm. And this was usually when I do that trip, it's a best ball thing. And so I played my ball by myself the entire 4 days. And by the third course before the 4th round, I was like, I am so done with this. It's the exact same thing. On 18, crushed a 5-wood, or crushed a, yeah, it was I think driver and then 5-wood. It was a really long par 5, and I had a shot for eagle. And I'm like, I hate this game so much.
Yep, exactly.
I came home to Christina. I was like, I think I'm done. I think
He was miserable for like a week after that.
yeah,
It was wild.
It messed me up.
Yeah, I get it. You know where I'm going tomorrow, right?
Where are you going tomorrow?
Pebble.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Have you played there before?
I haven't played Pebble. I don't know that I'm playing Pebble this time.
Okay.
But my wife's firm's partner retreat is up there every year. And so last year was Spanish Bay. Year before was Spyglass Hill.
Okay. Thanks.
What I've kind of noticed on the trend of when I see the tee times for stuff, the bigger, more important partners are the ones who get put out on Pebble.
Sure.
The appropriate course. But the trade-off of that, which I sound like a whiny, spoiled little brat, but they go off at such a late time because they have meetings before they can actually get tee times, that they hardly ever finish the full 18. They're walking off at 15, 16, or 17.
Sure, because of the sun.
And like if I'm playing Pebble, I'm playing all 18.
Yeah.
Because there's another event that evening they have to go back and get ready for. So, and I got invited by one of my wife's partners, and he said, "Oh, I'm always playing Pebble every year. Just tell them that you want to be partnered with me and you'll be on for it." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be exciting." And then I thought about this, but what if it's a later tee time and I can't play all 18?
You don't get all 18.
So I just take what I can, and they put us out earlier. The spouses get grouped up, and there's several of them that I've played with before. They're great golfing partners.
Yeah.
Nobody has high expectations from anybody. We just have fun and enjoy the round and enjoy the scenery. The last 2 years, although granted, I have basically quit playing golf. This is about the only time I play golf.
Yeah, I
every
remember
year.
you mentioned that. You're kind of semi-retired when it comes to golf at this point.
And they're the highest scores I've ever had in my life, but they were also the most fun rounds I think I've ever had the whole time I played golf. So
yeah,
it's just how you look at it.
There's a balance to it, yeah. Because I just like to have fun. It's typically not very good, and Christina has seen me. When I'm in my head and I'm frustrated by it, I'm like, that was kind of what it was with that specific round. It was just like, I either need to get a little bit better so that I can feel good about it, or I need to just quit. But like whatever this world is this season, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this frustration.
Yeah.
I want to go back to, it sounded like the fishing with your dad was very much like there was like a ritual, right? There was something that was, these are the things that we do. How does that show up for you now? Does it show up in fishing now, or even just in business where it's, this is the ritual and this is something that every time I go fishing or do something, it has this element to it?
Not because I fish so often. It's not something that happens every time, but there are certain trips that somewhat subconsciously that has happened with. I used to do a trip to the Sierras every year with my brother, and then all of a sudden a couple of my other friends started joining. All of a sudden there was a group of anywhere from 4 to 6 of us who would go up to the Sierras, usually this time of year in September. And there was very much we'd go up to my brother's and we'd stay the night at my brother's house because it was a little shorter and easier to get up to the Sierras from LA. And then we'd always go to the same restaurant before we went to my brother's to crash. And then we'd get up in the morning and we'd drive to a certain distance, and then we'd stop and we'd get whatever, beef jerky at Gus's Beef Jerky in Olancha. And then you'd keep going, and then now you're in Bishop and you go to Schatz Bakery. We'd buy the bread and stuff that we wanted to munch on, or whatever treats to munch on while we were doing our fishing. Those type of things just kind of always happened, and we'd drive past other places, go, oh, we should check that out sometime. We should, and we did it every year, and we never checked out the other place. It was always
like, this is the spot.
It was just the same places, and it was like, don't mess with what works, I guess. And now I do my 7-day long range fishing trip every year, but it's kind of different. We all gather at the dock beforehand, wait for the boat to come back, clean up, refuel, blah blah blah, before we get loaded on. But we're always there early enough that somebody makes a breakfast burrito run, and somebody needs this or that, and there's little things like that, but there's nothing that was quite the same, nor am I sure it's really that important that whole thing happened. It was really just I think if you were to psychoanalyze me and really dig deep in this, it was probably that at that young age, because my dad was so busy with stuff, I knew that I had him captive for that period of time.
Yeah.
And I think that was more significant than any other element of it. We could have been flying remote aircraft. That was one of his other hobbies. And it was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to go flying this weekend? Okay, cool. And we'd stop and we'd get donuts, do this and do that. It was just part of what we did. It really was less about that element of it. It was just that my dad was going to be present.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because-
just quality time.
Yeah, because around the house, he wasn't real present. So he always had something that he was dealing with or something going on, and he just trusted me to keep myself occupied and not burn the house down.
Yeah. You had his attention for
Yeah,
that time.
yeah.
Yeah. How did that show up with your mom in any capacity as well?
No, because my mom is freaking awesome, and she's just always been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was forever very clear that everything she did, she was making sure that me and my brother were going to be okay, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my mom is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the people in my office agree.
Oh, yeah?
Because she brings cookies.
I've heard about the cookies.
Okay, well now I'm curious about these. No, it's great. I think that's like my mom, right? I don't know if you got to meet her yesterday at
I did.
the event,
yeah.
but
I didn't get to
she's-
talk to her very long. It was right when I was leaving.
Yeah, she's very much that. And when she's shown up at any of the events that we host, and any person who's gotten to meet her comes up to me and was like, "Oh my God, your mom's amazing," and it's because she's the best, and she's always thinking about ways that she can make my life better, make our lives better now that we're together too. So yeah, having a good mom is really great.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah.
Is your dad still with you?
No.
No.
He died when I was a blue belt.
That's
I can't remember
The
what year
eras.
it was. It was a while ago. And it actually was when I was having that knee problem. My brother called me to tell me he had died while I was in the physical therapy office waiting for my treatment. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear.
No, it's
That's-
he and I had a falling out, so I hadn't spoken to him for years. and
Okay, wow.
Yeah, this is the downer part of the conversation.
It's life.
Yeah, it's the way it was.
Yeah. Sometimes there's all these different sayings about family and blood runs thicker than water. I don't know, things like that. And sometimes it's like, yeah. And at the same time, I don't get to choose my family. And there's people who are in my life who I consider family sometimes more than actual blood relation, you know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think you said that about jiu-jitsu. It was like you call it family.
Oh yeah,
Right.
It's a family. The people that you start to train with. So I have a guy, I affectionately refer to him as my pet white belt. Basically, he's the.
Sounds like a healthy relationship.
I need somebody to beat up on. Hey, get over here. Not too long after he had started, the promotional ceremony thing was happening at Studio 540, so it was in December. And I asked him, hey, are you going? You're going to be there this weekend? And he goes, no. He goes, I'm not getting promoted, so I don't see why I should go. And I said, here's why you should go. Because the people who you are going to train with and the people you're going to see get promoted, you're going to be there for that, and you're going to remember it through your whole journey, and you never know when you're going to encounter those people again later in your life and what role they might play in it, and you need to support your team and be there. Mm-hmm. He showed up.
Yeah.
And he thanked me for
Yeah.
kind of pushing him to show up, because he's like, oh my God, that was so awesome. And yeah, he saw some of his friends getting their blue belts and all of that. You know, I learned that early on too, where just watching these people like, oh yeah, I remember when this guy got that promotion and that, and all of a sudden now I'm run into him again. You know, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I remember you.
I would imagine there's also just some motivation, inspiration from being around people, graduating, moving up, and
Yeah,
right, like
yeah.
just being in that atmosphere and
Right.
being around it would be
Yeah, and
helpful.
they're so supportive of you.
Right.
They want you to excel.
Yeah.
They do whatever they can to help you, help push you, help you learn things. Yeah, it's honestly, family's not the right word for it, because they're often more supportive than family can be.
Sure.
So, but I mean, it really is. It's like, it's a jiu-jitsu family. It's what you do. And actually, to that point, one of the black belts that was at my garage ceremony, I had met her when she was a blue belt, and we were never really close or super friendly or anything. I just knew who she was, and I'd run into her every now and then, and hey, how you doing? But it was, not a big close relationship. And she had left the University of Jiu-Jitsu right before the pandemic, I think that she left, and she ended up getting her black belt at a different academy. And then I kind of stopped seeing her everywhere. It was really strange. And then all of a sudden she popped up there's a really awesome guy that does this jiu-jitsu in the park thing. And he's like, why do we go to our dark dojo hobbles where we do our training, and yet we live in San Diego and it's so beautiful? Why aren't we doing this outside when we can?
Yeah.
So he started this thing where he finds a park. He's got these puzzle mats, they interlock. We throw them out, invite people along, and you go and you train outdoors.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. Right up until you're on the bottom and the guy that's on top of you moves his shoulder and blinds you with the sun. That part sucks. So anyway, she showed up to one of these, and so I started chatting with her a little bit. She's like, yeah, I took a couple years off. I just don't know if I've still got the drive to do this. And she goes, I might, though. This has got me kind of thinking about it again. And sure enough, she started training a little bit more. She ended up going to the Master Worlds, which was at the end of August, and I think she won her first fight, lost her second fight, and all of a sudden, she showed up at my black belt ceremony, which I wasn't really expecting, but my sensei, his garage, invite whoever you want.
Yeah.
And when I gave my speech that I never, ever want to see in my entire life, I so could not hold it together.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. But I talked about my main training partner. Well, first I talked about my wife and how awesome it was that she's the one who got me started in it. Then my main training partner, who's away at medical school right now in the Caribbean, like, she motivated me, I motivated her. We'd text each other like, are you going to class today? Because I don't feel like it. Yeah, I'm going. If I'm going, you're going. Okay, fine, I'll go. And we just always pushing each other that way.
Yeah.
After the ceremony and stuff, when we had some food and whatnot, and when this woman was leaving, she gave me a hug, and she said, I don't know if I'm going to get through it here. She said, thank you for your speech. It reminds me of why I do jiu-jitsu. And it was, sorry.
Wow.
See,
No,
I get emotional.
Yeah. You do have feelings.
Yeah.
There's.
I'm not an emotionless robot accountant. So it touched me, obviously.
Yeah. No, that's,
How beautiful.
So cool to
Yeah.
have, for her to be there, number one, but to have that impact on someone.
Yeah.
Been
I
in and
wouldn't
out.
think that somebody like me, that she hardly knows. You never know, I guess, who you're going to impact.
100%.
So
Yeah.
be cool to everybody.
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's
So
beautiful is the right word for that. That's so cool. Appreciate you sharing the story.
Yeah.
And
feel free to cut that part out.
if you want us to, if you need us to, we will.
Yeah, no, I would love to keep. Just because.
No, it's
yeah,
fine.
it's so inspiring, right? Like, you inspired somebody and really touched her life in a way that was reminded, this is why, this is the reason. And yeah, to your point, we don't know when we do something or say something that is going to have that kind of an impact on somebody.
Yeah.
And it can happen even just in passing or in a room full of 150 people, and maybe we never even really know that we did the thing. And so that's amazing that you actually got to have her come up and say that to you.
Yeah.
To get the acknowledgement part of it, right? And it's so important, and why I would want to keep it in there is because, people are watching in a positive way. And the littlest action, I even think about some of the stuff that we do, the details, if that inspires one person to go, oh, this is how to do something, right? Like, that's all it takes. And I'm sure for you to hear that, it's, I need to be louder, I need to share my story more, or whatever it is. All it takes is one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. And in my whole jiu-jitsu journey, there's been those interesting little moments. I had to go to a business conference out in Orlando, and I found a school that wasn't too far from where I was. So I called him up, hey, is it a problem if I come as a guest? And he's like, no problem. Is there a guest fee so I can bring money? Nope, no guest fee, just come. Happy to have you. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I got there, and the level of welcome that I got from every single person who was there was incredible. And on the flight back, I was thinking about it, and I go, I need to be like that at my school. I need to be that guy who goes and makes sure the person who's walking onto the mat for the very first time is comfortable and welcome and feels safe and acknowledged.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is a lot of these people that start, I've seen a lot of first timers. It's intimidating to start it. I've told 3 white belts in the last 2 months, you've already made the first hardest step and most important, which is putting on the belt.
Yeah.
You put on your white belt, you're ahead of so many people. I see them, if they don't have someone that goes over and just kind of attaches to them and starts talking with them, they'll disappear. They're like, oh, I don't know, this is kind of scary. It seems clicky. I don't know, I'm not comfortable.
The support part.
And so now I don't need to hang around with the people I hang around with all the time. This is a new person. Let's go get them engaged with this. So it's just kind of been a different motivation, and it's now at a black belt level. I almost feel it's more important.
Yeah, I would say probably a little bit more so. There's a heightened
because I always kind of looked at black belts as they're black belts. They're untouchable. I can't go talk to them.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want people to know that I'm just another person.
Yeah.
I sucked once too. Wait, I still suck. But,
This is a conversation we have with Rudy, and I think Rudy, we've talked to, you might have heard his name. He's the leadership coach that we work with.
Oh, yeah.
But so he works actually with a lot of martial arts. There's a lot of commonalities, but one of his favorite sayings that I love is, my goal is to suck, and if I'm going to suck, I want to suck at a really high level.
Yes.
That's
where I
want to learn how to suck I want to be great. I want to be great
fantastic.
at failing.
That is what it is. And I jokingly had said for quite a while, I think once I got my brown belt, because things started to sort of fall into place and I kind of understood what this whole journey was about.
Yeah.
All of the belts that you go through, the first thing you have to do at white belt is you have to get your body used to making certain movements that are not average course of your day movements. And you have to start getting those ingrained in you so that they become somewhat automatic. And then you keep learning these different subtle movements, these different things as you're increasing in your belt color. And once I get to black belt, that is my signal that my body is responding the way it's supposed to, automatically, without thinking.
Right.
Awesome. Now I can finally start to learn jiu-jitsu. Because now I know how to move properly. Now I can learn things. And as much as I joked about that, when I kind of joked with that with my sensei, he said, well, actually, that's not uncommon. He knows of some high-level jiu-jitsu guy who took a full year and worked on one technique for 1 year.
Wow.
That's all he would work on. He wanted to be an absolute master at that. And when he was done with that, he picked another technique and he started working on that. And so I've already got a list in my head of, okay, these are the things I want to work on. I'm not going to right now dedicate a year to it, but there's things that I know I'm weak on that I should be stronger. So it's like, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about all this other stuff because my body's going to respond, and I'm going to keep from getting choked, and I'm going to keep from having an arm out where I'm going to get arm barred. But I need to work on this position so I can work my way into that position and spend my time there instead. Yeah. So that's the part that's kind of exciting for me, is I finally get to learn jiu-jitsu after 11 years and 7 months.
That's mastery, though.
Yeah.
I want to go back to you. So what you described when you visited Orlando and the welcoming piece, because that resonated. I don't know if that landed for you,
100%.
Christina, but just in terms of like what we're trying from a community. I love the community aspect, and there's so much of the heart of that, of what we're trying to do at 6 Degrees.
Well, because it's scary, right? I mean, what you're talking about is someone who's stepping into something that they've never done before for the first time. So it's the same thing in a professional setting, right? If it's my first time, maybe I just started my business, or for us, we bought a business, and then it's walking into a room full of strangers that I've never met, and I'm supposed to be able to present myself professionally and talk about what I do and all of these things. And so, I think early on, it was very much about how can we make that person feel comfortable in this setting of a room that they don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. And so those little details of sending the suggested connections the day before and things like that, right? And it just goes such a long way. And even having that person, whoever they interact with from the very beginning of check-in or whatever, and that welcome of let me know what you need, and here's someone that I want to introduce you to, right? So all those little moments that is what's going to help somebody feel like they're in the right place.
Yeah, definitely. And I resonate on that because when I've never been particularly shy to go to anything. I think we kind of covered that before too.
Yeah.
But when it came to business, it was like, do I know enough to be going to a networking thing? So I was definitely a little bit shy with it, but I also was kind of like, what the hell? I'm just going to go. Mm-hmm. Worst they're going to do is laugh at me. I've had that happen before, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I was fortunate that my mentor was very big on networking stuff. So when I was going to go to any networking events, I'd go and chat with him for a few minutes, and he'd go, oh, da da da, he'd just give me a few tips and whatnot. And I started kind of developing, not really a methodology, but just kind of a way that I would, when I got to a place, I'd kind of work my way around, figure out who I really wanted to spend some time with and talk with, and hit a few key people or whatever, and move on. Or sometimes the food was just good, and so I stayed there. But, and then I ended up buying some books. I bought a really interesting book, oddly, while I was waiting in line at like a Kinko's FedEx store, just sitting on a shelf, and said Rainmaker or Rainmaking.
Someone literally just told me that book last night.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. And so I grabbed it, and while I was standing in line, I started to read a couple things. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is coming with me. And so I read the whole book pretty ravenously, which is rare for me because I'm a really slow reader. And it gave me, a lot of the stuff was kind of like seemed common sense-ish to me.
Sure.
It was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it, of course. I understand why some people might need that put out in black and white in front of them.
Yeah.
But there were some things that I hadn't thought about, interesting little twists on how to deal with it. Well, it dealt with if you're going to a networking event by yourself versus with somebody else, and how to address things, how to break up and work the room differently. And it was kind of fascinating for me. But most importantly with it was when my sister-in-law started to decide she was going to do some networking marketing type stuff, and she was kind of panicking. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I know you go to a lot of this stuff. How do you do this? And so I just chatted with her a little bit about it, and I gave her my book. Still haven't gotten it back. But now she's a partner at another accounting firm, and she has a pretty substantial book of business. And I mean, hopefully I had a little bit of a hand in that. Mm-hmm. Not sure how much, but I she at least had me as a sounding board to go, how do I do this and not be terrified? Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's something I never thought of, is people who aren't used to networking stuff. How do you just walk into that room? Yeah. You're walking in as a white belt in networking. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you have to be welcoming.
Well, to your point, so I was to kind of use the jiu-jitsu analogy still, like there's levels of comfort, levels of where I'm at in my business, my experience, my confidence of what I'm doing, how I'm operating, and we're all at different levels, right? Mm-hmm. And there's no belt telling me what level you're at, right? So it's a very subtle kind of, again, I go back to like what we try to do is have it. I want it to feel like everything you said when you went to Orlando is everyone is welcoming, everyone is smiling. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of thought and stuff that we put into trying to have that be the case at our events. And there's some psychology of just we all do the same thing. I look around the room. Who do I know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna go say hi to the people I know. If I don't know anyone, I'm going to find someone that I'm either going to go to the bar, I'm going to find someone that's smiling, and I'm just going to try to kind of wade my way into the pool.
Right. Admittedly, I was kind of bad about that yesterday.
Were you? Yeah. We're just hanging out. I saw you with Brian and Will. And
I was not in a mood, and I think that whole incident with the parking that happened beforehand, I think that's what threw me off, because I just wasn't in a mood to just go and walk around and chat with people. And it's like, okay, now I just need to mellow a little bit.
And that's the other part. So mood is a factor, and like what's going on in my life. And we've had times where it's like I'm so fried, I'm just burnt out, I'm overcommitted, and I'm out at a public thing. I was like, I shouldn't be here. I'm not showing up as my best self.
So this has happened to me a lot in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That when it's tax season, my sparring sessions are horrible.
Sure.
Oh.
Because half of my brain is preoccupied with what's sitting back at the office.
Yeah.
And it bothered me the first tax season that happened. It really bothered me. And the second time, I'm like, okay, I know why this is happening. I don't know what to do about it, but I know why it's happening.
Yeah.
And then the next time that it started happening, at this point, I was training with my current instructor. I was talking to him about it, and he goes, oh, if you're not fully engaged in what you're doing on the mats, it's going to open you up for problems no matter where you are. So you've got to figure out some way before you get on the mats to do anything to absolutely try and wipe that from your head.
Yeah.
And stay 100% focused on what you've got going on.
I would imagine it's dangerous at some level.
I mean, I guess it could be, but all your training partners don't want to hurt you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, in general, they're there to learn just like you are.
Yeah.
You know. So
Okay.
the accidents happen,
Sure.
and there is a possibility that you might get your foot broken if you're not paying close enough attention.
Was that during tax season?
It was no, it was
okay,
not.
okay.
It was, but so what I had to work a little bit to figure it out, and back to rituals.
Yeah.
When I'm driving to my class, I have a Bad Religion playset that I listen to, and that, for whatever reason, it helps purge everything else in my head. I don't think about other work. I'm listening to the music, and there's certain songs that I take certain things away that I feel kind of connect well with jiu-jitsu and the theories in jiu-jitsu. And it seems to do a pretty good job. When recently there was one day that I was driving and one of my friends called, interrupted my playlist, and I talked to him for about 15 minutes on my drive, so I didn't get my full time to clear my head, and I had a horrible sparring session. And I'm like, okay, I'm not taking calls on the drive anymore. I can't do it because I need my head cleared this way. So, yeah, so it's just been one of those weird things, but that's how it works for me.
Is that listening to the Bad Religion, is that specific thing, is that something you played around with and found that, or is that's been from...
One of my favorite punk bands is Pennywise.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, it kind of didn't do the same for me.
It didn't work the same way.
Works just fine. It gets me hyped up and going and ready to do things, but it didn't clear my head right. And then I tried more mellow music. I've tried other things, and then all of a sudden one day I put on the Bad Religion, and I had an awesome sparring session. And I'm like, I don't know if those were causal or coincidental, but it was. I'm not going to mess with it. You know?
It's interesting. It's reminding me of, so growing up, I did running cross country, and one of the guys that I was a really good friend of mine, most of us would listen to like hype up music and like to try to get in the mood to get ready to go. I want to be a horse out of the gate kind of thing.
Right.
He learned, for him it was like, I actually need the opposite. I'm so anxious. I need
something mellow.
I need to calm down. And once he figured out that kind of cheat code for him,
right?
The success, the performance increased. So music's interesting that way.
Yeah, it is.
Figuring out what works and what I need when, right? So I think it goes back to just the mood regulation part,
right?
Understanding that piece and being aware of it. That's half of it. So it's that's
recognizing what it is that does it for you.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome that you found. It sounds like just the evolving. Like, nope, can't talk to people. This is I need the 15-minute ride.
I need that.
Get on the mat and
I
go.
need that in my head.
Yeah.
And I try not to listen to the Bad Religion song Suffer before I go into the match. For obvious reasons.
Some subliminal brainwashing.
A little too subliminal. I just don't want to take any chances. I don't know if it's bad or not, but I'm just...
That's funny. I want to name, we call it the moose in the room, very much like the elephant in the room. And you mentioned it as you were walking in, of being a little bit nervous about this because you said you have a chronic cough.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, where does that come from, or like, was there an injury? Like what?
Where does my nervousness come from, or where does the cough come from?
The cough. I'm curious, like where the cough comes from.
I have no clue.
Okay.
Neither do any doctors.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. Or they don't care enough it's not life-threatening enough
when
for them to do
anything. When did it start?
I was about 14.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I have a feeling a couple of people I've talked to recently have said that they had kind of a similar situation, and they did like kind of this, basically like this nasal power blasting kind of a treatment.
Okay.
And once I have the time to do it, as we talked about today, once I have the time to do it, I have a doctor who does that, and I intend to go and see if that'll help anything. But I've got nothing to lose at this point. I just have to have the time to go and try it out. So
since 14 though.
That's
something
such a
like
long
that,
time.
yeah.
To...
Give or take.
And have you gone down multiple paths of it sounds like no doctor, but has there been just waves of effort to try to like figure out, or I saw 3 people, they all said the same thing, it is what it is.
I've been to I've been actually like 3 different doctors who have no clue. It's like it's just a postnasal drip thing, nothing you can really do about it, something like that. And I mean, I don't know, it's just is what it is. But I've tried self-medicating with overdosing on Claritin and things like that. And,
oh my gosh.
I've tried all kinds of different things like that, over-the-counter meds, that it doesn't do it. And I joke about the Claritin, but if I take too much Claritin, then my sinus cavities get too dried out, but I still have the cough. So it's like that now my non-medical head goes, that maybe it's not having to do with my sinuses. Maybe it is something else. I don't know, so. Oh, well.
That's a long time to live with that. I mean, like, is your throat, is it just like raw? You just no? It doesn't hurt or anything?
It's just normal.
Dave doesn't feel pain.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. You don't feel pain. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I mean, you probably would be on Oxycontin by now, but I'm fine.
I would not want to be dealing with that. But yeah. Interesting. I mean, it's funny how many things that doctors just don't know. They're like, I don't know. I have no idea. There's so many things that I don't, like, the body does really incredible things, and then it also does things that I don't appreciate, but there's a lot that there's been times where I've gone in and, I don't know, for something really small, and they're just like, yeah, no, I don't do that. You have to go see a specialist for this or whatever. And I'm like, really? Just for every little tiny thing? Yeah.
Our medical industry has become quite a conundrum. I don't have time to go sit in doctors' waiting rooms to, like, okay, I'm going to sit here for 30 minutes, even though I showed up on time for my appointment. My doctor finally started calling it your check-in time. Your check-in appointment is this time. Basically, the doctor will get to you when he gets to you, but your check-in time is 2:30. And then, you're with the doctor for 5 minutes, and they go, okay, you need to go see this person now, or you need to go have this test done somewhere else. So now you got to go and sit in their waiting room and waste more time out of your day because it's a different day, and
it's a nightmare. It really is.
It drives me crazy, and it makes me not want to go to a doctor.
Exactly.
So I don't. I go for my physical, and until they tell me there's something majorly wrong I need to deal with, I don't deal with anything. So.
Yeah, I haven't been to a doctor since we moved here. So it's been 5 years that I haven't been to a doctor.
Yeah.
No, unless I'm in a lot of pain, then I'm like, oh, okay, something's wrong.
Yeah, my mom growing up was just very much like, give it 3 days. And then if it's still as bad as it is, like
my wrist was swollen up 3 days. Yeah. Okay, it's still swollen. I better go to the doctor. My foot was broken.
She would have approved of this. Yeah. She's very she works in healthcare too, and most people overreact and think it's this huge thing. And it's like, it might be, but give it a couple of days and see what happens. The body, to both of your points, the body's pretty amazing. It'll recover on its own with a lot of stuff.
It does for a lot of things, absolutely. I mean, and so much of it is even just with brain power, right?
Yeah.
Our brains are
crazy. Definitely.
And we're only using, 20%? Is that typically what people say? Is like we're really only using...
That, 10%. I don't know the science.
It would be really cool to have whatever that, was it called, like Limitless or something, the drug that turns on the rest of the brain. What would that be like?
Well, we're gonna have it with part of our brains being AI and robots and
just program my brain to be AI, and
it's coming. People are gonna do it. It will 100% happen in our lifetime in the next couple of years. Someone will have a chip, and the moment someone has a chip and they have access to weight 10 times, 100 times the capacity.
No, don't put that out there.
Would you do it? Would you get a chip in your...
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm very anti. I can't imagine a world where that would make sense.
I don't like manipulation of the natural course of things by outside forces.
Yeah.
And that's very much a fishing kind of a thing, like fisheries management. If you're actually using science and managing it, sure, it works really well. Look at Alaska. They do an excellent job.
Sure.
California, not so much. They just decide, we think this, so we're going to change these rules, and
Let's see what
there's
happens.
there's no
Yeah.
guidance behind it. There's nothing that they can point to that says this is why we think that. And yeah, I could go on to that for a whole other podcast. So, yeah, but that, you mess with stuff. Okay, I am going to go on a little further with that.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that happened about 10, 15 years ago, they created the Marine Protected Areas, MPAs, and they were going, okay, we're going to protect these areas, and we're going to have flourishing kelp beds, and all of this good's going to happen. And all of those areas they protected have no kelp beds. You know why? Because they didn't think about the fact that the urchin divers who harvest the sea urchins out of those areas, urchins eat kelp. So they close the area so urchin divers can't go and harvest a sustainable portion of the urchins. The urchins took over, ate all the kelp. Now there's no kelp.
Wow.
So all the structure they were hoping they were going to be able to protect and create is gone because they didn't think all the way through.
Yeah.
They didn't realize what the whole ecosystem looked like.
Well, I think just from a science standpoint, that's part of, we don't see the whole picture as humans, right? Like there's so many examples of the food chain or the different aspects of, it takes something like that to understand, like, oh, these two things are actually part of the same thing.
Right.
Bigger picture than what we thought it was.
Yeah.
Right.
And because of that, I just don't really want to mess with a whole lot of anything, because right now maybe it's not a problem, or maybe it is a problem, but maybe in 2 more years or 5 more years, it's not going to be. And that had to happen so that these other things could happen. Like, just let nature flow how it's going to flow.
Yeah. Well, I think to that point, there's still parts of the pandemic 5 years later that haven't landed yet. There's still ripples from that, right? I think just specifically about the real estate market, all these commercial leases that were 5-10 year leases that are come 5, 7, 10 years are coming due now. Now what? And how's that going to impact everything else that's going on?
Yeah.
100%.
Right. There's just, to your point, it's like changing one thing could sound good.
Right.
And what are all of the other possible negative
it opened up
impacts of it?
the remote working concept.
Right.
I mean, it existed before, just not to the level that it is now,
Right.
and certainly during the pandemic. But all of a sudden it became a more acceptable way to have a staff. And so fantastic for the market overall that people can go and get jobs anywhere in the United States or the world, for that matter. Downside is when you run a business that needs people and they need to be in the office, those people are now working remotely.
Right.
Or they have an OnlyFans page, one or the other. So, I mean, it becomes very difficult to get candidates as new hires.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is something you're going through right
Yeah.
now, right? Is your staff, how big is your team?
There's 14 of us.
Okay, and is it everyone on site?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 days a week. And
Yeah, I mean, we have several people who are like kind of admin level people who are mothers that they work 4 to 6 hours, and they might work 3 days a week. Some
Sure.
of them work more than that, but
for the most part, everyone's in the office. Did
everybody's
you have
in office full time?
pushback from getting everyone back in?
No.
Even
During the pandemic, the only people who left the office were single parents who didn't have other childcare options. So they stayed out, but they were desperately wanting to leave their kids and come back into the office. But everybody else, we gave them the option. We're like, hey, if you want to work from home, we totally understand it. And they're like, no, I want to be in here. I don't want to.
I thought that was really,
so we never closed.
I thought that was really interesting because I saw both sides of it, because I was running a state farm at the time, and I had 3 or 4 people on my team, and half of them were like, I have kids. This is my break. I can't be at home working because I'm like, I need to focus and I need to be away from them, and having them run around and all this stuff is really hard. And then there were people like, no, if I don't have to be there, there's benefits to not being there. Right.
Right.
So I see both sides of it.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to hire, train, build a culture, and do that remotely. I don't know that anyone. I have heard like a really great case study of someone that's done it effectively at scale.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
even experiencing it with us, right? So the first person that we brought on as an intern, Valentina, she's somebody that we got to be with in person for like even orientation, and there was a couple times that we met with her in person, and so the relationship there already like deepened so much faster. And I think it's been taking a little bit more time to ramp up with Chiodani, who's in Mexico City, that we have not met in person. I've worked with her before, so there is a little bit of history there, which is amazing. It's not starting from zero. And at the same time, like, we have not met her in person. Even when I worked with her before, I did not meet her in person. She's, she's always been in Mexico. And with Valentina right now, she's actually studying abroad in Spain, because I feel like we were together for a couple of months before she left. Now the remote work is just, it's seamless. It's easy. We have things in place and systems that are working for the things that she's working on. And I would love for her, I miss her, and I'm excited for when she comes back to being here and in person and doing some things that we would love to include her on. So it's very different, and it is a lot harder to start with just pure remote and have everything kind of in place. I think that's something that just that experience of getting Chiodani to the same space of like where Valentina is with us, it's taking longer.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible to make a remote workforce work effectively. It's certainly not something that I want to do, but our culture at our firm is, as cheesy as everybody says, oh, we're like a family. We actually are. It's really kind of weird that we can disagree vehemently sometimes with each other about how something should be done, or why are you asking me for that right now? Leave me alone. You get cranky. But when it comes down to it, we're all working for the same thing, and we all love each other, and so we all, keep striving for the same goal. And it's hard to have a family member who isn't there that's as included in that. The camaraderie is so different.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm more productive when I'm in the office. I just am. My wife is more productive when she works from home. She's required to be in the office a couple days a week, and she goes because she has to, but she gets more done when she's not in the office. Seems really strange, but she's also Wonder Woman. So for me, I've got to be in the office. For most of the other people, they just enjoy being around other people. We can go walk into somebody's office and ask them a question, go over, hey, let's look at this together. It's, I don't know, it's just kind of the old office way of doing things, and it worked for a long time. So
just even osmosis from a training standpoint, if we're bringing on someone new, of just being around, oh, okay, Dave's on the phone and I can overhear just some language in certain ways. Like there's so many like parts of training that aren't this formal piece that I pick up. When I'm on an island, I don't get the feedback of it.
That's a fantastic observation, because I have absolutely, with people in-house, some former employees, I've heard them on the phone, and I've been able to message them on Teams and say, you're wrong about that. You need to correct that.
Sure. Specifically I'm sure tax.
Yeah, it was like tax-specific things.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, and if they were fully remote, all of a sudden we've got a client that thinks one thing
that got bad advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did mention those are former employees who were like that. And that's another thing is those are little red flags that if we can't get those things corrected, sorry, you're not going to work out here. So, and I wouldn't have known that if they were working remotely. I don't have the capability or the time to listen in on people's phone calls and make sure that that quality control is done. You're just supposed to do it right.
Right. So training in general is what's right. What does quote unquote right mean? How great are expectations defined up front? Right. What does excellence look like? Right. And then that's kind of where this jiu-jitsu piece comes in. I'm sure parts of that has rippled into the business.
It's getting there.
Yeah. Slowly but surely.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this was wonderful. I know that Eric gets to see so many members so much more with being in the groups as often, and so this was really great, I think, for me, and just being able to hear more about everything and jiu-jitsu.
You're welcome. You can join our group anytime.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I know, it's sometimes I think we talk about should we trade off and things like that, and I don't know, maybe at some point, but it's really, I really appreciate this time with our members, and especially because it's just the three of us, and so we can dive a little bit deeper. So I really appreciate everything that you sharing your story, and just I think even to me the way that this ended and how talking about even you have like this work family, you have the jiu-jitsu family, it's like families just showing up in all your communities, and so I think that's really wonderful.
The other theme of just keep going,
keep going. That's Yeah.
if there's anything from this specific episode.
Yeah, it's just become my mantra. Just keep going. You'll get through it.
Yeah,
Just gotta keep going.
This too shall pass.
Yep.
I think it's going really well. You're on top of the mountain. Like,
Yeah.
this too shall pass.
Nothing gets accomplished if you stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The golfing saying, 110% of all birdie putts that are left short don't go in.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to kind of close this as a reinforcement, we talked about stress in the beginning. What's the stress level now? Did it move at all for each of us?
I might be down to an 8.
Okay. I'll take a maybe
Because
an 8.
this part's over.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I started off as low as I was, it just kind of stayed the same. I don't
Yeah.
think it really shifted as far as stress.
I think mine went down. If it was a 4, it's probably a 3. There's a calmness to you that I appreciate.
Huh.
So thank you for.
I'm glad that I didn't drive your stress up by
No.
my presence.
Definitely did not do that.
That's good. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This
Yeah.
is wonderful. All right, it's deep dive time for Dave Morgan's episode. That guy is tough, man. I mean, he doesn't feel pain. The amount of injuries that he talked about and walking for 3 days for, what he said something like 27,000 steps in Vegas on a broken foot.
I just love the specificity that he's like, no, like it was 27,300 and like whatever it was.
Yeah, because
I believe him.
Yeah.
Like whatever it was, I believe him.
Well, yeah, why would I make that up?
Yeah.
Why
No,
would he
I
make
mean
that
the pain tolerance is that's a real. I kind of want to test it. How do we test it?
I don't know. We're not in the business of injuring
Torture?
our.
We're not in the business of torture.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, he seems like a really tough guy
Yeah.
and can handle some pain.
Can handle some pain. You know what was interesting is we didn't talk about wine at all on the episode, and that's the thing that he loves that I can actually relate to. So,
Next time.
we'll have to get into wine next time. I'm going to have to give I don't need to give parameters that jiu-jitsu's off the table in that conversation, but let's talk about wine next time. Okay, there was so many we live in a small world moments on this episode. Can we just talk about the sim? Do you believe in the sim? We have this conversation multiple times, and I feel like it changes.
When you say the sim, what do you mean?
Sorry, I sometimes use
I
language.
I understand what it is, but I don't know that everyone else does. So when you are asking, do I believe in the sim? Like, what are you?
I know sometimes
specifically referring
sometimes
to?
I use language from Armchair Expert as if everyone's an armchair and everyone's listening to that, which it's not the case. The simulation, and yeah, just so many of the. Is it coincidence? Is it the universe? Is it
What does that mean though? When you ask, do I believe?
like are we
the
in a
sim?
simulation?
That is like predetermined, or that there are other versions of this happening in different ways?
Well, what do you believe?
I don't know what I believe. I'm trying to figure out what you're asking though.
Well, I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know. I know that we talk about this and we've talked about it certainly on air before. There's just so many things about life. And then it just gets so.
More and more, here's what I believe: things are true until they're not, and there's so many things throughout history that we thought were facts, and then technology comes around, and we realize that that's actually not 100% accurate, and we learn a different way. MRI technology and what that has shown is, as an example, with brain frequency stuff. I went down a pretty deep path recently about like, what if our brains are just antennas
Oh, like to each other?
to consciousness,
Oh, okay.
and we're all just on the same frequency? And then I don't know. There was a whole thing to it, but it was a real like there's something to it. So if the entire world is just protons, electrons, neutrons, and atoms and all this stuff, and you have all those things, I have all those things, and yours are just formed a little bit different. How does consciousness? If all of our what we're made of is the same, the only thing different is the consciousness part. biologically there's female and male, there's different versions.
Mm-hmm.
So and we don't know how brains work, right? We're more and more we've learned things. So yeah, without going too off the rails but it was just like, what if our brains are just antennas somehow, and they attract consciousness for as long as they attract consciousness. And the reason that if this feels like a simulation is just we're all on the same or a similar frequency, right? Like there's
Sure.
And then there's people that are on the edges that can see and feel and do different things, and maybe they just have and animals have different capabilities in the same world, but dogs can smell better, and dolphins have echolocation, sonar type things, and like there's, I don't know. Is it a simulation? Maybe. I guess when you say simulation, I just think Matrix and
like we're all just like in this little jelly egg thing, like plugged into a machine, and it takes right?
So it's more like when you ask that question, like there's more questions that come with it. So like to quote, like Billie Eilish has an album, like where do we go when we fall asleep?
Yeah. Oh,
where do we go?
I hate where I go when I fall asleep. It's the worst. It's so bad. What, like that, if I were to do ayahuasca or like anything that's like kind of more extreme, I would probably go in with the thought of like, can someone just fix the dream part of my unconscious? Because why do I have to be so stressed every night that I fall asleep, and with every fucking thing that happens in my dream?
Probably your dream's trying to tell you something.
Yeah, but what are they telling me? I don't understand. I don't get it. And I just want to, like, I want a happy dream. I just want one. Just give me one dream that's like fun and happy, where I wake up and I'm like, whoa, that was cool. No, they're all miserable and terrifying and stressful and tornadoes.
You need a dream interpreter to tell you what's going on.
Well, I did see, I mean, I don't know how true this is. I saw something where there was technology that has been created to somewhat record dreams. And yeah, can I have whatever technology that is and hand it off to a dream interpreter person and go, tell me what the fuck this is and how to fix it?
I'm pretty sure AI can probably be a dream interpreter for you
in
some capacity.
AI...
So to answer your question, so everything's true until it's not. I think we live in a world where we should question everything.
Yeah.
And with what you're saying about dreams, like, yeah, like, what if you just can't speak the dream language that is being told to you? What if that's just you're getting the messaging in a way that you don't speak Spanish, even though you speak Spanish, right?
I don't really know what that means.
Right, your dreams are in Mandarin, and you're just like, I don't know what the fuck they mean. But if they're somehow like that's trying to tell you something, or that's
I guess. Yeah, sure. I don't know what they mean, but I can remember them, and I know what's happening, and I know like the stressors that are coming up in them. I could tell you what my dream was.
Do you journal them ever?
No, I don't, because part of why I don't do that, I usually will wake up from a dream on my own accord, and I'm trying to fall back asleep as soon as possible, because once I'm awake enough, it is so hard for me to fall back asleep. So the idea of journaling that when I wake up in the middle of the night and having to write it down, to me, I'm fearful of, oh my gosh, but if I do that, then it's going to take me 20 minutes to even fall back asleep. Sure. And I hate that.
So I hear that, and there's probably a pattern that you would have it written down, and like if you read back all
sure.
of them, like you would
what it would probably a pattern that I could certainly see
be a little bit more obvious
is every single time I dream about tornadoes, there's probably a correlation to something that's happening in my life.
Probably.
And I mean, anything that I've typed it into Google and whatever of like, what does tornadoes mean, right? And it's always just like, oh, there's
Yeah,
chaos and there's stress and I'm like, okay, well, that's like my life. So, I mean, that's the life of an entrepreneur, I think, is like, it's all over, and
Yes,
there's
I
ups
mean,
and downs, and there's,
yes and no, because like, what if it wasn't?
well, I mean, sure. What if it's not that? Then,
What if life? I mean, it's the same conversation we had about like work has to be hard. Like,
well,
you're
sure,
like,
yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur. It's got to be chaos. It's like, what if it wasn't?
Yeah, what if it was
How do we?
the opposite
How
of
do
a
we
tornado?
have you not having tornado dreams?
Which it's interesting too, because back when we were in hospitality, the majority of my stress dreams were all hospitality related. It was always serving related, bartending related.
Sure.
But the tornado thing just needs to stop.
So, short answer to your question: we might be in a simulation.
Maybe.
We might not.
Who knows?
Does it matter?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Does it change anything?
No. Because what am I going to do about it if we are in a simulation? Like, what could I possibly do about it? Unplug myself? I don't know that I would want to. What's on the other side? That's scary.
So in your version,
I see
in your
Matrix.
version of a simulation, you're plugged in somewhere.
No, I mean, I'm just actually no. I don't truly see like the Matrix as the version of it that is, as what it would be now. To me, it would be more. I don't know, like an alien type situation, probably. I would see it more as the image that comes to mind is in Men in Black when they do that perspective at the end of the movie where they're zooming out and it's the marbles, and our Milky Way is just one of the marbles, and they've got all these marbles, and like these two aliens are playing with a bunch of marbles, right? So we're that small. That's in my mind. If I was gonna imagine a simulation, it's almost kind of like that,
Okay,
where it's
so-
like we're so tiny in this.
I mean, just
whole
even
thing.
the fact that like, so just zoom in a little bit from that to just Earth is a pebble and we're just ants on a rock in our in our galaxy.
100%. Yeah, right, exactly. We're
And-
so small even within the galaxy that just keep zooming out, and it's like, I don't know.
There's a lot we don't know.
Yeah, and to your point, would it change anything? And it's no, it wouldn't, because
Whatever it is, we're here for a pretty short amount of time. So
right.
Just gotta try to make the most of it.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Just for funsies,
I like funsies.
I wrote down some questions that we can sprinkle in throughout these deep dives. So I'm just going to do one each time. So
Okay. Hit me.
if I disappeared for 24 hours, where's the first place you'd look for me?
Have you disappeared?
Yeah, so imagine I'm gone. 24 hours has passed, and you're like, all right, start the search. Where the hell is Christina? Where's the first place that you would check?
Is there any context?
No, that's...
Is it Sunday?
Is it Sunday?
Here's my two follow-up questions. Is it Sunday and is it football season?
Let's pretend it's not, because I feel like that's an easier out.
If it's not football season,
Yeah, but 24 hours, even 24 hours after a game, like...
I've seen you have a good time.
Well, yeah, but
For-
where would I be? Like, where would you even check after that?
I'd start at home and away and work my way from there.
Ask questions.
No,
let's
so
pretend
not
it's
so a non-football season.
Non-football season, Christina.
You're gone for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I don't think you get that far. I think you're local. Probably OB.
You're checking OB?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, is there a specific? Like, where would I be 24 hours later? You're like, this is where I'm going to go drive to check first.
Yeah, probably Noodle House.
Noodle House?
1502.
1502.
See if you stopped in.
Have you seen this woman?
Yeah, but I don't think you get that far. I think you're clear in the
From local?
vicinity. Yeah.
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 Just having a good time.
So I would start checking the beach for you.
For me, on the beach?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're outside. And you're just like,
Why am I on the beach?
because that's the outside that's here.
Maybe.
I'd start checking the beaches.
Okay.
Well, especially because I don't know that there's like a signature like thinking spot. If you're gone for 24 hours, I think that you're somewhere like thinking, like you're contemplating just life and things, and you're just kind of in a zone. That's what I think is what's going on if you're gone for 24 hours. So I think you're in a space where you're outside and you're in nature, and I think that's where you would go. Oh, where I was going to finish is there's not like a woodsy camping space that you know of right now to be able to just go to that spot from San Diego, right? Mm-hmm. There's all these like places around us, sure. Would you just go somewhere random? I mean, you could, but I see you as like you're outside somewhere. You're in nature, but I could see you just like I'd find you at the beach, like just sitting in the sand and staring at the ocean, and like that's where you're at.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, because we're not gone for 24 hours. That's funny though, just where you place me and where I place you. It's very different.
Yeah, I mean, part of that question is like, well, what are you? If you're not here, what are you doing? You're out with people somewhere.
Yeah, I'm definitely with humans. I have found people that
you're socializing. I'm not.
I mean, yeah, I feel like. Do you feel like that's accurate?
Probably.
Right?
Yeah. Sounds like a good place to start.
Okay, now we know if one of us goes missing for 24 hours. This is where Eric would look for me, and this is where Christina would look for me. So if I need to be found, then that's where I should go. But if I don't want to be found, new location.
Are you out? Are you routing?
Maybe I will leave San Diego.
No.
Got him.
0.
Oh, come on. I could see stop. I could definitely see myself especially, all right, if it is football, Christina, and someone was like, there's a flight to Vegas now, and we can come home tomorrow morning.
It wasn't football season.
I know. I'm saying like if the way that I could definitely...
Chiefs are playing in Vegas. Like, that's very high on the list.
Well, I don't even think that they'd have to be playing in Vegas. It'd be more of like, no, I had a really, really good time at home and away watching the Chiefs. They just won. Maybe it's even an early game, right? Early enough that there's still flights out to Vegas, and I'm with some really fun people, and they're like, let's go to Vegas. Like, we'll just party all night, and we'll get it the first flight back home in the morning.
You want to go to Vegas?
Kind of.
Right now? All right, we gotta go.
Gotta go.
Put her there, bub.
Put her there, bub. See you later. Going to Vegas. Bye.